Is anyone among you in trouble? Is anyone among you in trouble? I have the answers today for any of you that may be in trouble. Just want to start this show out with a simple comment. Nobody in my lifetime has ever came to me and asked for coaching advice, asked to be admonished, asked to be, and I can't think of anybody on the top of my mind that has not come to me when they weren't in trouble. Which leads me to today's show. Today's show is going to be probably short, but it's going to be to the point because I'm kind of going back into some things here, and I'm thinking about even myself. I mean, maybe I'm in trouble right now. Maybe you're in trouble right now. And what do you do about it? What does trouble mean, right? Like when we're not feeling well. I know lots of people that have depression disorders. I know lots of people that have anxiety disorders. I think America's plagued by some type of disorder here or there in some regards, but I will tell you it's real. I know lots of people that have depression. I know lots of people who have anxiety disorders. I know lots of people who have a hard time coping. And like, I'm just not going to begin to lie about you and say like I've never experienced any of it. I'm not going to say that because it's not true. I have experienced depression, and I've experienced this microphone. And so I want you to know that, like, is anyone among you in trouble today? So the story I have for you today is basically just the truth. Yes, I have been in trouble in the past. I have been in trouble mentally in the past. I have been in trouble in and out my life. I think I put myself in trouble to dig myself out. I don't know why I end up there. But I'm not going to ignore the fact that I'm talking to a lot of you listeners out there every morning, and I know that you may be in trouble. And so in the Bible today, James talks to us, chapter 5, verse 13. James, in the very last chapter of the book of James, basically says this out loud: is anyone among you in trouble? Let them pray. And so I started thinking about that and how it works in my life and how maybe I could help you in your life if you are in trouble. The entire verse of James chapter 5:13 is anyone among you in trouble, let them pray. Is anyone happy? Let them sing songs of praise, right? But when I read the verse this morning, all I could see is anyone among you in trouble, let them pray. And so that's really what I'm going to focus on for 15 minutes or so this morning. Because it struck me like a thunderbolt, man. It struck me like lightning. It struck me like a wave hitting me in the face that, man, there are people in trouble out there in this world, on the reg, on the daily. And I thought, well, I don't need a deep dive into the Bible over this one. This is exactly what God wants me to talk about. He wants me to talk to you about you possibly being in trouble. The Bible is here for us, but trouble is around us right now. And I think that my message today is to talk to you who may be in trouble. And I don't, I think trouble is a lot of different things. I think trouble is like you're going to jail and trouble. I think financial challenges are trouble. I think marriage has trouble. I think relationships have trouble. I just think trouble and troubling is something that we all need to deal with firsthand. And I have the answer for you today because God has the answer. But I don't want to play it lightly because, as we move through life, we are really only two types away, in trouble and not in trouble. And so I think some of us are just sitting right now in trouble. So I'm going to pray with you today at the end of this show. It's going to be a short show. And I'm going to talk to you about what James is calling us to do if we are in trouble. Is anyone among you in trouble? ? Let them pray. Is anyone happy? Let them sing songs of praise. What hit me was, is anyone among you in trouble? And so I want to talk to you today a little bit about wired differently. I want to talk to you a little bit about being in trouble. I want to talk to you a little bit mostly about what God says to us about being in trouble. James is a half brother to Jesus. There's some talk that Jesus may have had more than one brother, but James is the most popular. He's the most famous. James is the guy that really picked up the mantle as Jesus perished on walking on earth and ascended to heaven. And he was kind of a regular guy. The book of James was kind of called the book of Levi's, but James was kind of a Levi's guy. He didn't dress up. He was a regular dude. He talked in regular language, and he talked about regular things. And he took his brother Jesus, changed the world and put it into these pithy type of comments and orchestrations in letters. And so he put all these letters together for the Christian Jews, and he put one together, and it was called the book of James. And lo and behold, it made the Bible, man. Way to go, James. But if you really want a great short read in the Bible, and you're not a reader per se, John is a great Bible to start with. It's the book of love. It gives you the whole scope of everything. But if you're looking for self-help, if you're looking for, just regular people wisdom every day, like if you're in trouble, go to James. Like if you want to talk about a regular 9-to-5 guy or a regular, entrepreneurial person struggling out there, if you want to talk about a regular dude just trying to raise some kids, if you want to just try to talk about a regular person trying to just save their marriage or keep it going, if you're talking about a regular guy, regular person, regular woman just trying to get through the day, trying to get through the work day, get through the mind day, get through the kid day, get through the school day, get through all that. James is the place to go because James is a regular kind of person. He's not one of these and thous and that's and thou shalt nots and this and the commandments and all this and the rahu and the shalom and all. Hey, James is just the guy that says, "Come on now, bro, chill. Let's have a cup of coffee. Let's talk about it. And if anyone among you are in trouble, pray." Pray. It's just that simple. And so I thought I would help you this morning with a little bit of the Wire Differently teachings and some of the things that go on in Wire Differently, because it's a mindset, mission, movement, ministry, right? And I have talked a lot all over the country about mindset and how much it matters. And I talk about prayer and how much it matters. God gave us this beautiful brain to do so much. And I've never been convinced more than even now that the number one function of your brain is to process prayer. Now, hold on. You're saying the brain's pretty damn important, Todd. It runs the legs, the arms, the thoughts, the food, the heart. It's the central nervous system. It's and it probably the capillaries and the neurons are except the photosynthesis. It's just it's a complicated science product. No. I think this is me. No one in the world probably ever said it. I don't know. Google it if you want. But I really believe that God created us in his image so that he could create the brain in his image so that we could pray. I think the number one reason we have a brain is so that we can process prayer. I mean, I don't know. You can go look it up. You can Google it. You can AI. You can do it. I mean, go good right now. Because if I think about it and I go backwards and I start to think about all my teachings in the last 6 years, right, on the brain and wired differently and all this stuff going on, and I start to think and I start to process, I go back to the most rudimentary book in the Bible, processed by the most regular dude that ever walked the planet, that just happened to be the half brother of Jesus Christ, wrote down some pithy sayings in roughly 13 verses in chapter in the book of James, right? 5 chapters in the book of James, one of the shortest books, and it's all about basically culminating prayer. Thank you, James. Thank you for talking my language. Thank you for really sharing this mindset with me this morning. So if we can come to an agreement, at least for this show, for the next 5 minutes or so, that God created us in his image, right? He created the brain for us that runs us in his image. Therefore, our body and our mind is in his image, right? If we can agree to that, then we need to figure out what the brain is for. Well, the brain is for to run a body that's in his image, right? And it's the central nervous system. It's the computer bank. It's the place where all the action happens. It's the CEO, right, of the company. It's deciding and doing all those things. But what is the number one job of the brain? And you should write this down right now, because the number one job of the brain is to process prayer. And can you understand that if you're going through the day and any of you among us have trouble and you're not attacking the trouble with the number one function of your brain, which is prayer, then you don't stand a chance. Todd, you get ahead of yourself. You forget to pray about it. Todd, you get ahead of yourself and you try to solve the problems. Todd, whatever your name, insert your name, and you forget why God gave you a brain so that you can talk to him and process in prayer. So now I want to go, that's all spiritual with you. So I want to just get a little scientific with you right now. Are you with me, everybody? Lots of people listening this morning. So I have a teaching in Wired Differently. And it's about 1% getting better. I want you to get better 1%. I want you to get 1%. If you can get better 1% every day in a craft, in a process, in a habit, if you can get 1% better every day in that product, right? You will grow 37 times better in that process, or what you're doing in that craft, whatever that thing is that you're doing. 14 minutes every day after 1 year, you will have become 37 times better in that than when you started. 37 times. Just doing something, getting better at it 1% of the time of the day. Now listen, if you continue to do it 1% of the day, 1% getting better, if you continue trying to get better at something 1% every day, you become 37 times better at it in one year. And if you do it for 2 years, you become 1,400 times better in 2 years. So if you continue to do the same thing every day for 14 minutes a day, after 1 day you get 37, after 1 year you get 37 times times better. After 2 years, you get 1,400 times better at it than when you started 2 years ago. And listen to this staggering statistic right now. The math makes a lot of sense. And if you get 1% better every day, not only 1 year, but 2 years, and you do it for 3 full years, you exponentially grow by 37,000 times better at that craft if you do it 1% better every day. Hang on, man. Just stay here with me because it's all going to come full circle, baby, because you know that's how we do this show. So what I'm trying to tell you is your mind was created in God's image, right? Your body and your mind, and God has created in his mind as an image. And why did he create the brain? Because we've already laid down the law here that the brain was created to communicate with God. And the only way we can communicate with God is through prayer. Therefore, your brain was created for you, for God, so you can communicate to God through what? Prayer. If you want to get better at something in your life, your craft, your job, your marriage, right, your life, whatever that is, you need to do that thing 1% better every day. You will get better 1% every day. And if you get better 1% every day, whatever this craft is, you become better 37 times in 1 year. In 2 years, you become exponentially better, 1,400 times better in 2 years. And we've just decided that at the end of 3 years, exponential growth, and the math puts you at 37,000 times better in 3 years, just simply by becoming 1% better at your craft every day. Now, I'm a little known for my diatribes and my rants and my rambles, and that was one of them. Thank you. But the process I have for you today is this idea of matching James and God with you. Because I know you're in trouble. I know it. So I want to give you a solution. Thank you for listening. So I'm going to wrap this up this morning. And I'm going to explain to you how to get better 1% every day. I heard the question once. How do you eat an elephant? I'm thinking lots of ketchup. I mean, I'd have to have lots of ketchup, and I actually probably would want it deep fried, to be honest with you. But the idea of eating an elephant is just so large and so unreasonable that it's just like I can't fathom the idea of eating an elephant. I mean, it's like the largest animal that walks the entire planet. It's like thousands and thousands of pounds, and it's as big as a building. Some people live in houses smaller than an elephant. And someone said, "How do you eat an elephant?" I'm like, I don't think there's enough ketchup in the planet to eat an elephant, right? Like, and so some of them looked at me and they said, just start at the toes. Just start at the toes. Sooner or later, over time, the process is done. And so if you're in trouble right now, if you got an elephant to eat, if you're in trouble right now and you got financial challenges, if you're an elephant right now and you're in trouble right now and you got marriage troubles, and if you got a lot going on in your life right now and your job's not going so well, if you got a lot going in your life right now, you just can't see the light of day. If you can't find your way out of this trouble, if you just can't get hope, you don't have things going. If that elephant is so damn big and there's not enough ketchup, I want you to understand that I have an answer for you right now. This beautiful. It's your brain. It's the brain God gave you, created in his image, right? And he only gave that brain to you for one reason. Really, it does so many. I get it, but I'm just throwing down right now. He gave it to me so I could talk to him through prayer. That's what James said. Read James, read the whole book. It's 5 chapters. It's just so easy. It'll change your life. That's the beginning of prayer day for you. So here's the science behind getting better 1% every day. So I got this whole thing out here for you right now, and I just want you to understand. I'm going to talk you through it, and then I'm going to throw up a diagram so you can see how this works. But if you concur that God created you in his image, and that if you accept Christ into your heart, right, now you have him into your soul and into your brain, and now God is operating inside of your body as a conscience, a super conscience, a filter for good thoughts and bad thoughts, and good choices to make and bad choices to make. You have an actual attorney inside your head that is the law, the counselor, the judge. He is all those things, right? He is God. He is Abba, our Father. He is in our body and our soul. We have our resources, and that brain that he gave us that he didn't even require him to be in if we wanted to use it. But now we have him in our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and in our brain. And now we are talking and we are processing to him. But the only way we can do that is through prayer. And if you're in trouble today, I need you to say, I'm in trouble today, Lord, and I need to talk to you in prayer, because it's a phone call to God. It's the one line. It's the T-Mobile. It's whatever. It's a direct call. It's not the party line. It's you and him, man. It's a straight on pipe to God, man. Prayer. James said so. Jesus said so. God says so. Prayer. So here's my ideal. So if we know that we can get 1% better at our craft and become 37,000 times better at that craft after 3 years, if we do something every day, 1% to get better, what is it? So I did the math for you. So here's the science behind prayer. If you want to get better at something, if you want to get out of trouble at something, if you want to get better at anything in life, I would say I need you to first and foremost get better at prayer. So here's the statistics. There are 60 minutes in a day. 60 minutes times 24 hours equals 1,440 minutes. Think about that. 60 minutes times 24 hours equals 1,440 minutes. If there's 1,440 minutes in a day, multiply that times 60 seconds. 1,440 minutes times 60 seconds is 86,400 seconds in a day. 86,400 seconds in a day. So if you want to get better at something 1% a day, 86,400 seconds times 0.01 yields 864 seconds a day. Follow me here now, because 864 seconds a day is 1% of 864,000 seconds, which is 1% of 1,440 minutes, right? So what we're saying is 864 seconds is 1% of your entire day. If you do the math on 864 seconds and divide that, right, by 60 seconds, that makes it 14.4 minutes a day. So I want to extrapolate that to you right now. My wired to differently mental friends here is that I deducted 14 minutes and 14 minutes and 24 seconds, or 14 minutes, 0.4 seconds a day. 14 minutes a damn day. I mean, and let's just talk about it. Makes you 1% better at the craft you choose. And if you do that craft for 14 minutes and 24 seconds a day, all of a sudden at the end of 3 years, you're 37,000 times better for that. So what I'm asking you to understand, my friends, is that if God has a pipe from your brain that he's created to only communicate with him, is why aren't we just praying 14 minutes and 24 seconds a day, brother? Come on now, somebody. If it's 1% in prayer a day, makes me 37 times better in 1 year, 1,400 times better in 2 years. And lo and behold, I'm better, 37,000 times better at my craft and even prayer. If just praying 14 minutes and 24 seconds a day. Which begs me to ask a question. What if I prayed more? What if I prayed more? I'm just going to let this soak in. 1% better each day, every day, yields 37 times better in 1 year. 14, take a screenshot of this, 1,400 times better in 2 years, 37,000 times better in 3 years, 60 minutes times 24 seconds, 1,440 minutes, 1,440 minutes times 60 seconds, 86,400 seconds. 86,400 seconds times 0.01, 1%, 864 seconds. Do the math, you divide 60 seconds into 864 seconds. That gives you a yield of 14.4 minutes per day, which is actually 14 minutes and 24 seconds a day. My conclusion is that 14 minutes a day in prayer yields you 1% better every day. Is anyone among you in trouble? I just gave you the answer. Good morning, good day. What a great show, everybody. I just want you to get to wireddifferently.com. I got all kinds of shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, long sleeve, you name it. We got over 65 brands, different colors, different shapes, different sayings. God's word is on all of them, ingrained in some way whatsoever, not unlike Wired Different behind me in this sweatshirt. So I want you to go there and use the promo code WIRED15. Go to WIRED15 and get an additional 15% off of that shirt of your liking. Hey, and we also have this idea that if you want to text us, DM us, or somehow get to us that you see a shirt or a verse or something you want on that shirt, just send it to us. We'll create an image for you. We'll send it back to you. And if you like it, we'll print it. You go online and you order your shirt. I mean, there's no reason to wear Adidas and Nike and all these worldly numbers. Let's get God on our body. God bless you guys, man. What a great show. Let's get out of trouble. Let's pray.